What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Comic book reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your pop culture guy, and today got just a little episode, something small and short, sweet. Also, I know we're an episode behind. Last week I ended up not recording an episode. Just had a lot going on with work, and I'll be honest, I was super exhausted. Like, coming home, I stunk. Like, work has been rough, like super busy, just having so much going on. We have so many big jobs happening right now that has a lot of operator involvement. And so, dude, when I'm getting home, I'm like, I don't want no part of nothing. I just want to sit here, be a vegetable on the couch, and just spend time with the family. So I chose to do that over the podcast. I was looking up articles and things. I just didn't have the energy to record. But this week has been a lot better, a lot nicer to me, at least. Still have one more day. I'm recording this on Wednesday. We'll see how Thursday goes. Thursday is my last day for the week, and then I'll be off for the weekend. Hopefully it's not, knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't jinx it, man. But, yeah, so, a couple of things to talk about today, for things. I don't even really know what I was going to talk about, for the review today. I don't think I have really much going on, man, but, before we get into the nifty nerd news, though, I do want to bring up again, Comic Palooza is coming up soon, man, and I don't want you guys to miss out on anything, so you need to go to comicpalooza.com and get your tickets. Meow. They've announced such awesome guests like Adam Savage from Mythbusters, Joe Yzma, comic book creator. Who else did they get? Patton Oswalt is going to be there, and there's going to be more guest announcements soon. But with that being said, you need to hurry up and get your tickets soon, like ASAP, because I believe it's April 20th. There is a price increase on tickets. So I guarantee it's going to be worth it, and you're going to thank me now if you get the passes now while they're a lot cheaper than if you wait till closer to the event. I know it sounds like a gamble, like, oh, I don't know who the guests are really going to be, but trust me, Comic Palooza, she always puts out. No, but of course it's going to be June 20th through the 22nd. That's a Friday through Sunday, kind of middle of the summer. I know, Texas in the middle of summer, hot as balls, dude, but it's going to be at the George R. Brown Convention Center. It's inside, it's AC to the max, and when I say it's in the George R. Brown Convention Center, I mean it takes up the entirety of the George R. Brown Convention Center, top to bottom, all 3 floors. It's nuts, man. That convention center takes up like 3 blocks, it feels like, and every square inch of that thing is full of just pop culture, comic book, video game, anything, any type of genre or fandom that you could be like or be a part of. It's going to be there, man. This has to be the absolute largest convention in the state of Texas, by far, and I don't want you guys to miss out, dude. June 20th through the 22nd. Hopefully, I haven't heard back yet, but hopefully my podcast gets to join the podcast program and be a part of it. I've done it a couple of years in the past, and it's always a great time. It's always fun getting to see my friends. And if I don't get a part of that, I'm still going to buy tickets because I love being at Comic Palooza. There's so much, like, from the shows that get put on during it to just the games that you can play, the people that you can meet, the cool things that you could buy there, and the comic creators, the celebrities. It's always a good time, man. And so it's always one of my favorites. Also, don't forget, get a hotel, because you're not going to want to just be there for a day. There's so much that I just told you. It takes up like 3 blocks worth of space. There's no way to do it all in one day, and I usually split it up. Like, each day I try to hit so much of the vendors and stuff, and then so trust me, just please trust me on this one. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Let's move on to the Nifty Nerd News. All right, everyone. Up first in the Nifty Nerd News, something, it's kind of old news, but we're going to talk about it since I didn't talk about it last week. So the Nintendo Switch 2, while announced and had this great opening, and I'm a big fan of it, I was really excited. Well, due to the U.S. government tariffs, the Trump tariffs, Nintendo's has pushed back the pre-order date because they need to figure out what do these tariffs mean for them and the pricing of this system. Because, spoiler, if you don't know how tariffs actually work, the tariff is paid for by the country that imports the goods. So us importing Switches means the U.S., that company that's importing them, has to pay the tariffs, which means that the cost of this unit is going to cost them more. Now, class, will a company eat that cost and just out of their own goodwill give it to us for the same price as original? No, the answer is no. The answer is if the company has to pay more, you have to pay more. And because they have to cover, they want to make as much profit as possible. And they know Americans are stupid and are going to pay this. How do I know Americans are stupid? Because okay, I gotta calm down. Idiots keep paying for overpriced Pokemon cards like stupid sheep. And I know they're going to do this for the Switch because I know I'm going to do this for the Switch because I really want the new Nintendo Switch 2 because it looks that awesome. Now, as far as I can tell from what I've read, the new date for pre-orders should be sometime later this month, somewhere like around the 20th, maybe a little bit later than that. I don't know if I'm going to pre-order. I might be able to pick it up at my local Walmart when it comes out because unlike Pokemon cards, a new Nintendo Switch costs, their original price was $450, but I'm guessing with the tariffs, it may be closer to $500 for just the system, and it's probably a lot harder for people to spend $500. But then, again, I think about if it's just the same guy that's buying all the Pokemon cards to try to resell, what's to stop him from buying all of the Nintendo Switches to try to resell? So Walmart, please put a limit. 1 Switch per person, or per household, per day. I don't know. I just want a fucking Switch, all right? But, yeah. So we'll see what that means. They haven't announced anything on new pricing or anything. A lot of the new pricing speculation has been just that, speculation from people based on average tariff percentage and things like that. So we'll have to see later this month. Along with the Switch 2, Xbox, someone over at Xbox has said that they will still continue and plan on continuing to have support for the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, which is pretty cool because we have heard the Xbox people talk about porting Xbox games over to the Nintendo Switch and things like that, because they want to kind of get away from the console exclusive model. They think that more money could be made because I guess Xboxes aren't selling quite as well as they thought they would, and maybe that has to do a lot with the new Series X and Series S. I'm not 100% sure because I don't follow it that closely, but based on what I can tell from their interviews, is they feel like there's more money in the software sales side of the gaming industry, and they don't have to put money into the research and development and creating of their own hardware systems. So this could, potentially be a pretty big win for Xbox if it plays out in their favor, I guess. I don't know. But with the way the Nintendo Switch 2 looks and the processing power and the abilities that it will have, and the rumor of them remastering Halo Combat Evolve has me kind of excited to have a handheld version of that. I mean, you could have that with the Steam Deck. I am no stranger to the Steam Deck and what its capabilities are, what it can do, but it appears that the Switch 2 is supposedly more powerful than that. It's going to provide a better quality experience than a Steam Deck. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Moving on with the nifty nerd news. So with the new Daredevil series about to come out, people getting hyped for that. Of course, there's been a lot of interviews from the actors and other things like that. Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin in the movie, in a recent interview said that the Kingpin can only be used for the television series with Marvel. And I even think between Marvel and Sony, the Kingpin is only allowed to be used in TV series. Supposedly, due to a rights issue, he can't be used for a solo movie or appearing in any MCU fans or anything like that. And I guess it's because while Kingpin, I'll be honest, I don't really know too much of his origin. I always assumed he was more of a Daredevil villain, but then he's kind of turned into a Spider-Man villain, and he's gone to, he kind of hits all the street level character as a villain, to all these street level characters. I've seen like Luke Cage and Power Fist versus the Kingpin and things like that. So maybe he has such ambiguity that no one right can claim him. Like Spider-Man and Sony can't claim him, Marvel can't fully claim him, and so Kingpin's kind of stuck in this weird television limbo. Now, that being said, I feel like they've used him really well in the television series, and I really enjoy Vincent D'Onofrio's take on the character. I feel like he's truly embodied the Kingpin, and he does such an awesome job. So I'm not mad that he's in the TV shows, but it would be cool to be able to see him go beyond and into the movies. I think that would be a really cool thing. Moving on, Fantastic Four. Of course, we're all getting excited for that. We've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff and seen the characters in photos, so like how they look and things like that. So we're all really excited for that. But news came out recently that they're going back for some reshoots. Now, I don't want to panic about it, but everyone always tends to panic. Like, oh crap, they're going back for reshoots, which means like the movie's not testing well with audiences and they need to fix some things. But I haven't really heard any articles or tells that audiences aren't liking any of the test screenings. And normally you always kind of hear something like, oh, audiences reacted kind of indifferent or weird to this, and so now we're going into reshoots. What it could be, though, is that since Avengers Doomsday is coming up, and based on the little spoiler-ish preview of all the director chairs or whatever, the actor chairs that we saw, we know Fantastic Four members make it out of it and into those chairs for Doomsday. So maybe these reshoots are to help film scenes to, connect the dots or lead into Avengers Doomsday. So we'll have to see with there. One of the last bits of nifty nerd news that I have for you guys today is a fun little anecdotal story that I read about saw and then read about, where Ryan Coogler, director of Black Panther and other awesome things, but mostly, we're focusing on pop culture. Well, comic book movies and things like that. But he was telling the story about the time Chadwick Boseman freaked the Disney execs out when they showed up on set one time because he was so in character as T'Challa. It was like speaking in his accent the entire time they were there. It freaked them out because they're like, oh God, is he is he stuck that way? No. But, he was in it, man. He was T'Challa and going with it, and kind of made the joke yo, man, he doesn't break until we wrap up, dude. What's Robert Downey Jr. character in Tropic Thunder? I don't break character till the DVD commentary, stuff like that. And then played that joke through the movie where he did the DVD commentary as Lazarus, whatever his nuts names was. I thought it was pretty funny, man. But he goes on to talk about Chadwick Boseman and his acting style and abilities, and just the charisma and just the great things that he brought to the character, and not only just to the character, but the things that they learned from him professionally as an actor and filmmaker and things like that. So it was a really cool article and a really great read, and it got me all teared up again because sadly Chadwick Boseman passed away due to colon cancer what was it, 2020, or I mean, a couple of years back, and so really sucks that he's not around anymore because God, did he play such a great part. And I can only imagine what Black Panther 2 would have been like with Chadwick Boseman. Not saying that, sure, he's not a good Black Panther, but man, Chadwick and T'Challa's Black Panther was just so great. And so, I don't know, man. I'm making myself sad. But that's it for the Nifty Nerd News. I do have one more thing just to talk about. It's not nerd news, but it is nifty and kind of disgusting. So I was on TikTok and I came across this thing where this person's talking about astronauts in space. You know, it's kind of like one of those things, and then it cuts to like something else, right? And it's like, oh yeah, astronauts in space floating around enjoying their time. And then like 2 weeks later, and they take their socks off, and it's like a dark thing, like dun dun dun. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with astronauts taking their socks off, like in space? Like, what's wrong with that? And then I learned about a thing called astronaut's foot, which sounds bad, and it kind of is if you're not ready for it. So apparently, when astronauts take their socks off in space after being in space for a long time, a layer of dead skin just completely comes off. And if you ever felt the bottom of your feet, you know that they're fairly rough. You have a lot of dead skin under there that is compressed and stepped on and stays kind of stuck because of gravity and you walking around on them all day. Well, guess what? Astronauts in space don't have that issue because they're not walking around them all day and don't have gravity weighing down and compressing the dead skin to the bottom of their feet. So at one point, when they decide, yeah, I'm going to take my socks off today, it all just comes off. Just like that. Doesn't hurt. Anything, just right off the foot. Right off the bone. No. And it's kind of disturbing. Like, it's not painful, but it's kind of disgusting and kind of disturbing and kind of leaves just a weird feeling in my body that I don't like. But yeah, with that being said, that's it for the Nifty Nerd News, guys. Stay tuned, because maybe I'll have something else to talk about after this. We'll find out. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to the final part of the Bry-Fy podcast. Honestly, I got nothing, dude. I've decided, well, I think we talked about it a little bit. I decided that we're going to come back to, or go back to the downtown market days for my city. And so I'm going to be selling some Pokemon cards again, which I'm really excited. The big key for me was trying to figure out how to move the baseball cards, because while some people bought some baseball cards and things like that, they weren't really a popular item. And I don't know if it's because, people don't really collect baseball cards. Like when I go to Walmart to get depressed about not seeing Pokemon cards, there's typically always baseball cards there. So there's not a huge baseball card collecting community in my town. But I know kids like baseball. I know other people like baseball. And people came out and did buy some baseball stuff from me at the market days. So I'm hoping by repackaging my mystery packs to be team specific. So now, like, you're going to get an Astros pack that's going to have Astros cards, or a Yankees pack that's going to have Yankees, or Dodgers, or, Twins, like all the baseball teams, right? Like, and I have, because I do specific breaks and I don't get a lot of one team over another. Some teams will only have like 2 to 3 booster packs. I think the lowest amount I have for one team is like 4 booster packs, or mystery packs that I keep calling mystery packs that I made. While some have like 12 to 15, maybe. I think the most I have is 18, and that's the Houston Astros, because when I do team breaks online and stuff, I always pick the Astros because they're my favorite team and I want to collect cards from them. So I don't know. I'm hoping that's going to work out. Of course, now I'm hoping too, because I've done it already. Like, no one was ready for me the last market days, because I was coming out of nowhere. I just decided to do it to see how it went. But now I'm hoping that since people saw me last month, that maybe word will spread and more people will come to look for me this month. So, only time will be able to tell. It's 2 weekends from now, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, a little bit nervous. Ultimately, I'm just there for a good time, and hopefully I have a good time, and hopefully my wife gets to stay out with me the whole time. Last time, RJ, my son, could only put up with so much before he was like, I just want to leave. It's hot. I'm bored. Daddy's dumb. But we'll see how that goes, man. I'm excited for it. But that's all I got for you guys this week, man. Nothing really else. I haven't been really doing much of anything except for making mystery packs and getting ready for the market days this month. With that being said, though, thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe, rate and review all those things. You can also find me on the main thing, which is podbean.com, which is my main hosting site. I'm on Apple, Google Play, I believe SoundCloud. You can also listen on YouTube. I posted there all podcasts and things, and I have other videos there on YouTube as well. You can like me on all my social medias. I'm on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, so you can find me all there. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Bry-Fy out.